First up, meet the Dominator. He loves the sound of his voice, maybe a bit too much. This personality type tends to need to be in control. They seldom let you get a word in edgewise. He is far and away the most common personality type other people have problems with. So, how would this personality type introduce themselves in a meeting? They'd say something like, "Hey, everyone, I'm Dan. I've been leading teams for quite a while, and I know how to get things done. Let's cut the small talk and focus on the mission ahead. Time is money, folks." Now, while understanding the Dominator's introductory style gives us a glimpse into their mindset, it's equally crucial to know how to engage and communicate effectively with them. So, to demonstrate how ChatGPT can help you improve your ability to deal with a Dominator personality type, I'm going to pit him up against a Sir Knows-It-All type. This demo will give you strategies to navigate a conversation with the Dominator, whether you're leading the chat or you have traces of that communication style yourself. So, you ready to see how this unfolds? Well, let's set the stage with our prompt. Create a conversation between a person with a Dominator communication style and a know-it-all communication style that results in an agitated and unproductive discussion with no results. Highlight the challenges that the opposing styles pose. They are discussing the requirements for a new digital product. Now notice, I'm specifically asking ChatGPT for an agitated and unproductive discussion with no results. That's how I expect to get a great example of bad communication. I also define the context as being about requirements for a new product. Well, you see here that ChatGPT defines the atmosphere in the conference room as charged. Dominator Alex is not shy about coming straight to the point. That's typical of this personality type. He makes his desires clear and leaves no doubt about who is in control of this conversation. Now, Taylor, our smirking Sir Knows-It-All, is not going to be run over by the Dominator. So he counters with a heavy emphasis on his background and knowledge base, as well as how well prepared he is for the conversation with his research. In addition, his use of the phrase, "you might think you understand," is a direct insult to the Dominator style. Well, already Alex is getting riled, as you can tell by his rising voice. He emphasizes his leadership role and tries to beat Taylor down with the immediate gratification argument. And Taylor, not to be subdued, accused Alex of oversimplification, which borders on another insult for the Dominator. He cites his current research about the behavior of the target audience that Alex himself had defined at the beginning of the conversation. You can see that both sides are digging in, defending their initial position as opposed to having a productive conversation. Alex, on his side, practically dismisses Taylor's research by playing the successful products card. He feels his real-world experience is more valuable than Taylor's theory. Taylor responds with what he considers his superior know-how and introduces the argument it's based on hard facts. As you can see by the remainder of the conversation, it's going nowhere fast. What this conversation achieves is an escalation of heated emotions on both sides that are counterproductive. In the end, the discussion deteriorates, each side attacking the other's style instead of productively discussing common ground and trying to achieve the ultimate goal of the meeting, that thing about requirements, remember? So let's see what ChatGPT has to say about what both parties were doing wrong. That they refused to listen to the other. Check. Alex totally disregards Taylor's research and knowledge, while Taylor belittles Alex's experience. I agreed. Instead of addressing the topic, they resort to attacking each other's methods and personalities, just like I mentioned earlier. Neither party is willing to budge from their stance or consider middle ground. True. And both see their way as the best, making collaboration impossible. This is an absolute killer for reaching a common decision. So, if you yourself naturally lean towards a dominant communication style or have engaged with someone who exhibits that style, you can probably relate to this example. Let's ask ChatGPT to show us a more effective way to navigate such a conversation. And since I'm continuing the thread that I started in the prior lecture, I'm just going to add the prompt for ChatGPT to create a dialogue where both Alex and Taylor have great communication skills. So what does ChatGPT offer me here? Same conference room setting, but the atmosphere is collaborative. In the opening of the conversation, Alex presents an observation about a trend among the younger audience and then invites Taylor's thoughts based on the latter's recent research. The approach is consultative, and it seeks insight rather than making a unilateral decision. So this is kind of like a captain of a ship asking the navigator's insights before setting a course. While the captain may have a direction in mind, they respect and value the expertise of their crew. Taylor acknowledges Alex's point, but then expands on it by bringing in an additional factor, depth and meaningful interactions. Instead of outright rejecting Alex's notion, Taylor layers on top of it. And Alex, upon hearing Taylor's addition, doesn't get defensive or try to override Taylor's point. Instead, Alex expresses a willingness to learn more and asks for evidence or examples. That's typical of a dominator, by the way. Taylor offers examples and suggests a potential approach that might be beneficial. Instead of holding on to knowledge or using it as a power play, Taylor shares it openly. The knowledge is shared for mutual benefit. Alex appreciates Taylor's insights and openness, and he highlights the strength of combining their expertise. By doing this, he acknowledges the value that Taylor brings to the table and suggests a partnership. Taylor's response mirrors Alex's enthusiasm and emphasizes the potential of their combined skills. By expressing eagerness, Taylor signals not just passive agreement, but active participation. Alex then suggests concrete steps forward, emphasizing team feedback and combined efforts. This proposal makes it clear that the process will be collaborative and that both of their inputs will be vital. They're acting like two scientists proposing an experiment where they both acknowledge the need for each other's expertise for success. Taylor closes by reaffirming the collaborative spirit, highlighting the intent to turn the shared vision into reality. Now, I'd like to point out a major characteristic of this conversation that makes it collaborative as opposed to confrontational. Many of these presented exchanges end with a question that invites the other person's input. Posing a question and then actively listening to the other party's response is a powerful way of signaling that you value their opinion and are inviting them to share. That, in my opinion, is one of the hallmarks of a collaborative conversation. And notice also the open-ended and non-threatening way the questions are formulated. ChatGPT explains the underlying reasons for the smooth and productive conversation. Both Alex and Taylor are willing to consider each other's perspectives. They value each other's expertise and experience. Agreed? Instead of seeing each other as adversaries, they view each other as partners working towards a shared goal. Both take the time to hear each other out without interruption. Cool. They maintain a forward-thinking and solution-oriented approach. So, we just delved into two contrasting scenarios. One where both parties are rocking those communication skills, and another where, well, it was like radio silence on both ends. But here's the fun part. Your creativity can now take the wheel. Fancy sketching out a scenario where a top-notch conversationalist goes toe-to-toe with someone dominating the chat. I'll bet that would be a fascinating exchange to unpack with ChatGPT. But hey, I'll step back and let your imagination take the spotlight.